Hey, what's up YouTube? Today I want to make this video teaching you guys a little short lesson that I learned about reading this book right here, Hardwiring Happiness, by Rick Hanson. He talks about the winner effect, and that what happens to the brain when you have a successful experience happen to you in your life, and how that affects you when you face yourself in another similar situation again in life. He gives the example of scientists doing tests on these like little mice or rats or whatever it was, right? Where they would like put them up to battle against each other. But one of the mice would be heavily sedated. You know, they would be around the same size as each other, and then one of them would be heavily sedated. And that mice would fight the other mice, which was sedated. Obviously, being an animal, it doesn't really know that. And then it was more likely to win the next bout, the next fight, with the same mouse when it wasn't heavily sedated. Went on to show through research that the winner effect, as it takes place in you and I on a day-to-day basis, when we have a successful experience, a successful interaction with something, when we're in that same environment, that same circumstance again, we are more likely to win, even if we're up against something bigger than ourselves. Boxing, for example. If you have a lot of successful sparring sessions, or if you have a lot of successful fights in your previous past, then you're more likely to win against an opponent that might be putting you at a disadvantage in the future. Someone that's bigger than you. You know, you'd be more likely to win because you already have winning in your history, and your brain remembers that, and then it gives you, I guess, that extra push that the other person doesn't have. The same thing actually goes the reverse way for losing. If you lose something and your brain remembers that experience, the next time you're in that same circumstance, you actually have a less likely chance of winning because your brain remembers that you lost last time. And even though you could have won that situation, maybe now you won't because of losing in the past, making yourself more likely to lose in this current situation. I thought it was a really interesting concept, and I wanted you guys to digest it for a little bit. The book questions a lot about this concept, going, you know, is our life made up by random? When we started out as kids, did we just have random good experiences with this and that, random bad experiences with that and this, and then eventually that made up who we are and what we like to do? Partially, yes. That sounds like a pretty good theory to me. But what's important to keep in mind with this theory is that now that you know this theory, you can now use this information to your advantage. If there's something that you really want to be good at, a skill that you really want to level up on, whether it's boxing, faster at reading books, then you've got to set yourself up for those small wins, right? Whatever it is, you got to get yourself some small wins going. Give yourself some realistic goals to hit. That's why a lot of people talk about setting realistic goals, hitting them, and then raising them. You know, everyone talks about that. Jobs, parents, your friends, I'm sure you've talked about that. Hitting your expectations, your criteria, your standards. You know, giving yourself that win so that the next time when you set the bar even higher, you can hit that bar with more ease because you're using the winner's effect in your own brain. You're setting yourself up by letting yourself win a few times before you go in for the time that it really counts. That concept is called the winner's effect. I found it here in the Hardwiring Happiness by Rick Hanson, PhD. I haven't read all the way through. You know, I'm doing this thing where I'm reading a little bit out of a book every single day. So is my lovely girlfriend, Angel, behind the camera. Reading a lot more, setting ourselves up for small wins so that we can have more success in publishing a book ourselves. You know, we're reading and researching and understanding, and that's how we're using it in our lives. Another thing, I train for boxing in my back patio every day. So I'm getting small wins every day by, you know, setting myself a goal. I'm going to be out here for 20 minutes. I'm going to go hard. I'm going to sweat through my shirt, whatever the goal is, and I win. You know, saying I'm going to take a cold bath, go and take that cold bath. I'm going to stay in here for 5 minutes and doing what I said. That's a win. You know, that's an example. And then the next time I'm more likely to go out there and compete complete the workout because I've done it before and my brain knows I'm capable of doing it. So I hope you got something out of this video. If you made it this far, let me know by commenting chipper.